right, guys, so for this final one, okay, the idea here is you, when you're looking at these zeros, you have an imaginary 0 and you have an irrational 0. And each of those is the type that come with conjugate pairs. So you also need to have 6i, and you need to have the conjugate pair, opposite sign, root 2. So those are your 4 zeros. Now that gives you your 4th degree polynomial, again, a linear factor for each 0. And so when we set up our function, we get f of x is equal to some leading coefficient that we're going to eventually find. But we type in our factors x minus a negative. There are no rational zeros. So we look at our imaginary and our irrational. So x minus a negative 6i, there's 1. Its conjugate pair, x minus 6i, there's 2. X minus our irrational, minus root 2. And then the final one, its conjugate pair, x minus root 2. So here are the factors. I'm going to enter those in my calculator. I'm going to go to the y editor and replace these. So I get x plus 6i, again, second catalog, times x minus 6i, second catalog. I have my irrational factors, so x minus, or in this case plus, root 2, close off the radical, close off the factor, times x minus root 2, close the radical, close the factor. I can hit enter. So I've entered all 4 of my linear factors. Remember, you should have 1 linear factor for every degree it tells you the polynomial is. Okay, so it's a 4th degree polynomial. I should have 4 linear factors. I can go back into my home screen now, and I'm going to test it. I have 37 is equal to a times. I'm going to go ahead and use my function notation, y1 of the number they asked me to evaluate for, 1. And I'm going to do that, solve for a, and that's going to give me my leading coefficient. So here, F2 algebra tab solve. I'm going to type in a times y1 of, I'm evaluating when x is 1 for that function. And I'm going to solve for a. And I get my answer. Oops. I need to set that equal, sorry. So that's all equal to 37 here. So 37 is equal to a times y1 of 1, solving for a. I get a is equal to negative 1. So there's my leading coefficient. And so when I come back in to expand this out, F2 algebra tab, option 3, I'm going to expand it by taking negative 1 times my y function, y1 of x, leave it in that general form, because it's going to expand it, put it into a polynomial, and I get my answer, negative x to the 4th. Here, minus 34x squared. And the last term, plus 72. Again, if I get any radicals or i's in my answer, then I'm doing it wrong.